Question 17. Consider the following statements regarding the Indian squirrels. So, the question reads, they build nests by making burrows in the ground. They store their food materials like nuts and seeds in the ground. They are omnivorous. How many of the above statements are correct is the question. So, I'll just show you the links. I have cited one source as a probable source from where they have picked up the question. Not sure. But when the first thing is, when you search for Indian squirrels, the first thing that comes in the result will be Indian palm squirrel. So Indian palm squirrels are the ones we usually see that makes nest on the trees, and they don't. They usually live on trees and all. And if you see their diet, if you see diet and behavior, you can see that they eat insects and other small mammals, so they are omnivorous. So for most of the squirrels, they are omnivorous. So that point is without a doubt true. So that is there. But if you look, if you come down, you can see a Indian palm squirrel's nest that is on the tree. That is what we are familiar with, right? The squirrels making nest over the tree. And so, and if you come to the question, there is a statement which says they build nests by making burrows in the ground. So that is probably false. So usually these squirrels make nest in the trees. But second statement is what is little confusing. The second statement reads, they store their food materials like nuts and seeds in the ground. So if you see, there is no mention of such a tendency by this palm squirrel. So most of the institutes have given the second statement as wrong, but I have a slight doubt. The doubt is coming from this source. I will show you the source. This news says Virudhunagar district's own grizzled squirrel is mascot of its first book fair. So it's very it looks like unrelated. Just have a mascot, a squirrel as their mascot. But in this, I read a statement which says the squirrels are major disperser of seeds. They sow the seeds that grow as plants and trees. Here we use it as a mascot for the book fair that would sow the seeds of knowledge. So from this statement, we understand that squirrels are major disperser of seeds. They have this tendency of like putting seeds under the soil. So if that is true, second statement could be true. So coming back to the second statement say they store their food materials like nuts and seeds in the ground, which could be true. So this is how I would say this question is little confusing. I have to wait for the official UPSC key to have a clarity on the answer. But it looks like they build nests by making burrows in the ground is false, but they store their food materials and nuts seeds in the ground is true, and they are omnivorous is true. So two statements are true and one statement is false is what I am getting, but probably it could be it could also be two statements are false and one statement is true. Let's wait for the official UPSC answer to know the correct answer. So this is a little doubtful question. There are some questions like this in the UPSC which could where some ambiguity lies. So even different institutes will have different answers. So yeah, they build. I haven't seen. If you just search squirrel, Indian squirrel, squirrel building nest. Build nest burrows in the ground. We just search that statement. You can it does not burrow in the ground is what most of the institutes have answered. But there are some squirrels which are ground squirrels, like Himalayan marmot. Marmot is a squirrel, ground squirrel. You could call it a ground squirrel which burrows in the ground. So they build nest by making burrows in the ground could be true for Himalayan marmot. But when it just says Indian squirrels, I don't think that statement is true for a general statement like general Indian squirrel. So when you just say Indian squirrel, I don't think that is true. So there is confusion like that. If you are considering, you should you consider ground squirrels when you read this statement is a doubt. So but if you see, they build nest by making burrows in the ground is what is some squirrels build nest by making down burrows in the ground. If the statement was like that, it was more confusing. But it is like for Indian squirrels, that is a true statement. It is given like a true statement. So the chances for that to be true is very less. So answer, this could be wrong. And this is the part where a second statement is other confusing part. Again, as I discussed, the squirrels have a tendency to burrow seeds, so that could be true. And their omnivorous is without a doubt true. So that is question 17 for you. It's little doubtful. Let's wait for the official key. So yeah, so let's move on to the next question. Question 18.